Hi, I'm Sophie,
I'm Joe.
and welcome to Spilled. Today, in this podcast episode 3, we have a very special guest, extra special because she's my roommate and I love her. Let's hear about you, Haley. Would you like to tell us about your major?
My name's Haley Novak, and I
Yeah.
am a first-year fashion design major.
Perfect. And she's so stylish too. Also, you can just tell, the jewelry and stack and
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Thanks.
But you guys go way back.
Yeah, what, 4th grade? Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Soccer,
grade.
We played
right?
Yes.
Clifton soccer.
Streak of childhood friends on the pod.
I know,
It's
because you knew Emily as well.
It's giving me flashbacks,
Yeah.
nostalgia.
I love it.
Me and Haley went to high school together,
I know.
so that's
it's-
how
oh
we
my
know
God,
each other.
wait,
And now
yeah.
we're roommates.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
So today in this podcast episode, we are going to be talking about forgiveness. I'm actually really excited about this one. I'm excited to hear Haley's perspectives because as a roommate, I have been hearing her thoughts
Wait.
for a few hours now. but I am very excited
Wait,
for this.
Do you guys know the ins and outs of each other's lives? Cause you're
What do you mean by
roommates?
that?
Do you know have you guys had friendship falling outs with other people and you guys
Oh yeah.
no?
Yes.
I mean,
So yeah.
Oh yeah. We know the same people, so
We would
our
know.
stories they get juicy.
But I kind of wanted to start it off with my perspective of forgiveness. Just a little thing I'd like to put out there about the phrase forgive and forget. This oh, she felt that. She
Yeah.
felt that.
That wounded me.
This is a phrase I have very complicated emotions about. I'm not gonna lie, I hold a lot of grudges, so I will forgive, but I'm not gonna lie, I won't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's
Wait,
not
no.
good.
No. I'm gonna hype you up because as
Okay.
someone who
Okay.
who has who's forgiven and forget, because that's a boundary for me that I've had to work on.
Okay.
I respect you so much for that.
For not forgetting?
For not forgetting
because you tend to.
because I tend to, and it screws me over, and then because it's
Please share.
well,
if you want.
that's one of my questions. But I feel for me, it was figuring out you can forgive someone and not forget. Setting boundaries, I think, is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. I think as women, we're taught to play peacemaker, and you don't want to be
Ooh.
dramatic and not forgive someone and forget. For me, I think for a long time I would forgive and forget just so that I wouldn't be
cause trouble.
yeah,
or
and
something
wouldn't
like
be
that. That's
dramatic or
yeah.
that it would just be brushed over, but in the process I would be sacrificing my feelings.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Shoot, that was.
And I'm happy as someone who struggled with that you are good at that, because that's something that
Not
I
always,
respect.
But
Yeah.
Haley, I want to
Yes.
hear what you think about forgiving and forgetting, because
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with us.
Man, sometimes for me, I feel it's either forgive or forget. It's one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Either forgive the situation and kind of, remember it a little bit,
Mhm.
keep it in the back of your mind, or just forget about it entirely and just don't even forgive it, just forget it. Literally move on.
Do you think that's good, or do you think
No.
that's sweeping things under the
I
rug?
think that's sweeping things under the rug, but sometimes
Okay.
I think it's necessary in my personal experience.
for different situations.
For different situations. But most of the time I like to face it head on and forgive people. And sometimes that's not even head on. I feel you can forgive people without, actually having a conversation where you're hey,
Okay.
that was wrong and I forgive you. I think sometimes it can just be proven that you are forgiving somebody through your actions. And I feel that's usually
Well.
how whenever I'm like forgiving somebody, that's usually how it goes.
Okay.
And I feel like usually like if I've ever wronged somebody, then that's also how it goes, because I don't think I've ever had anybody come up to me and be like, what you did was wrong, but I forgive you. So that's why I feel like
That's a weird way to put it.
it's like low-key,
But-
like I feel like
I don't know. I feel
if
like,
I've ever
yeah.
wronged somebody, they didn't let me know about it. Like it's
Okay.
just been brushed over, if that makes sense.
Okay, so do you think
Yeah.
that it's better to like have a conversation, or do you think it's better for things to be unsaid?
I think it depends on the situation, for sure. Like for small things, usually it can be left unsaid.
Okay.
Unless you think it's going to be like another problem in the future, then definitely talking
yeah,
about it
true.
is a big thing. Yeah, I think sometimes you just gotta keep rushing through, because if you stop
Okay.
after every little miscommunication, it also depends on like the relationship you have with the person.
Yeah. Do
That
you
you're
have a
forgiving.
specific like experience or something like that?
Ooh,
That
okay. I feel like there's like very few people in my life who I haven't felt like wronged by,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I'm
Yeah.
also very easily. But
sensitive?
I feel like I can be pretty
I-
sensitive.
I'm sensitive too. I get you, girl.
I'm also.
So-
Sensitive gangsta.
We know this by now.
It's good though that
Yeah.
you recognize that you're sensitive,
Yeah.
because that's
that's
like,
okay.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
thing.
actually
No,
I
I
feel like a
think-
good thing.
I think
Yeah.
sensitivity can be like a superpower, and I
Yeah.
think it's a really great way to like connect with people.
Mhm.
For
But
sure.
it is something that I have to remember about myself,
Yeah.
because I do get hurt pretty easily.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
And I know a lot of the time it's not, people trying to actively make me feel that way. It's just something that happens because
Yeah.
that's just how I
For
am.
sure.
Very empathetic. Like that's
Yeah.
very,
She is very empathetic.
Yeah, but I can think of one situation that like I had a falling out with a friend group at the beginning of like my junior year of high school. I mean, it was probably like the most like dramatic falling out I've ever had, just because
Okay.
it was like actually revolved around one specific situation, which I feel like most of my like friend breakups or whatever have been like build up of things where it's
Okay.
like we're growing apart. But it was kind of like the first time I've ever had
like
it happen,
An
because
official type.
it was like I was like wronged on like a deep level.
Okay.
And it wasn't intentional, which is why it
Mhm.
like hurts, but
yeah.
it was like something that just, it was a
No,
situation that shouldn't have been as bad as it was, and it was, and I maybe took it a little harder than, well, actually no.
Yeah.
I think I
stand
took
on
it.
business.
I think I took it the right amount
Yeah.
of harsh, but yeah, it was people that I never really like officially forgave in any way, and like for a long time it was like we just stopped talking, and I like couldn't even think about them, and I just had to move on entirely and forget the situation
Mm-hmm.
until obviously we're in the same school, we see each other every day, our
Okay.
grade was pretty small, so like we'd start to talk again casually,
slowly.
and it's not even like I'm just talking to them because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm choosing to because
So you.
I want to bridge the gap,
Yeah.
but it's not in the way that we'd ever like be back to friends.
Was there ever a moment, you didn't have to have the conversation with them necessarily, but
Mhm.
with you were like with yourself, you were like, okay, I forgive them now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Some realization.
Yes.
Yeah, like
It took that forgetting phase to like give myself time to heal before
Mhm.
I'd be able to forgive them myself and then be able to start talking to them again.
mhm.
But you showed it through
Yeah.
like action. So it was
Yes.
things that
Slowly,
weren't
yeah.
said, but
think-
Exactly.
That's good because it seems like you were like slowly building up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for me personally, I can tend to be superficial when I forgive people, and like, not that my apologies, like sometimes I feel like they can be unsincere,
Mm-hmm.
and I just do it to like play peacemaker, like I said.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how do you go about like truly like being sincere about forgiveness?
Yeah, I feel like I used to be really superficial about it,
Mhm.
and then I started to realize that that's not doing anything for me. It's not doing anything for
Yeah.
them, and like having superficial relationships is just not something that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in being everybody's friend on like a superficial level. Like I want to
Yeah.
have deep connections
Yeah.
with people, and that's like really what I value at the end of the day. I don't know, when I think about like what's important to me and I decide, do I want to hang on to this and let this drag me down and
Mhm.
probably drag them down too, because I do think that the people that I had a falling out with, I do think they felt bad about it, and I
Mhm.
do think that they regretted it and maybe didn't know exactly where they went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I did feel kind of guilty, like, not giving them that explanation. And it was, I do think it was, like, too hard for me at the time. Like, if they asked me today, I would probably give them like an in-depth answer and tell them what made me feel the way I felt. But at the time, I wasn't ready for that, so I felt like I couldn't really give them that closure.
You just needed your time to
but
process
I think,
it.
when I eventually did forgive them and started talking to them again, I could tell that at first they felt like surprised that I was like talking to them, and then I think they started, being like kind of excited at the fact that I was forgiving them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's nice.
But I totally understand that.
That
like,
makes me kind of happy.
I know. I feel happy for you that you had that closure, like, with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like that situation kind of, taught me how, like, forgiveness is supposed to be. Kind of like, it's almost like forgiving them, but also forgiving myself for
that is
being
very
the way that
interesting.
I am.
Because self-forgiveness is another
that was going to be my... I was going to ask you guys, have you ever had to forgive yourself? I think that's something I've also struggled with. Like, I think it's a lot harder to forgive yourself than it is to forgive other people, especially if you're someone who holds grudges, because I feel like you can hold them against yourself, like, just as much as someone else, if not more. So have you guys ever had to, like, forgive yourself, and then, like, how have you gone about that?
I mean, I will say, because I definitely do hold a lot of grudges, I'm definitely still working on forgiveness. Like, honestly, Haley, hearing you talk about forgiveness makes me kind of envy you a little bit, because I'm like, I'm just very stubborn, and I feel like the way I view forgiveness is I don't want to get hurt again, or in the self-forgiveness aspect, I don't want to mess up again, because I am a perfectionist with how I do things.
I feel like it's a big, like, trust thing.
Trust as well. Yeah. For sure, I've had to forgive myself for things that I, like, get stuck on, because I feel that I did something so wrong, like, in my head, and also with OCD, like, that just continuously plays over in your head again and again, and so it is definitely very hard, and I struggle with it all the time, so I'm no expert at saying how to do better at it. But what about you, Haley?
I think forgiving yourself is, like, super important, and I think there's a lot of times where I, like, slip up or do something that, I don't know, I feel like isn't what I was aiming for.
Because you're human. Like.
Yeah, that's just how it is, and I'm, like, struggling to think of, like, a specific example, but I know it happens because, like you said, we're all human, we all make mistakes. Forgiving yourself is super important, being kind to your mind. I'm, like, a huge mental health advocate. It's, like, something that I care about so passionately. And
you can't hear it, but it was there.
I will always, like, be, like, the first person to remind people to, like, take care of themselves and to, like, forgive themselves and to...
I love that.
Not to be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big thing.
And I think that's why I'm so quick to forgive people, is because I just would hate to be the reason that anybody is, like, in that state of mind, because if I felt like I did something wrong to somebody and I didn't think that they were forgiving me, or I could tell that they were maybe upset, then that's gonna, like, make me upset.
Yeah.
And I don't know that everybody's like that, but I like to pretend that everybody is and try to be aware of that. But I don't know. I overthink, so I don't know if that's
Me
like,
too, girl.
accurate.
Me too. But what about you? Have you had to self-forgive
Yes.
in any specific situation?
I think that, like, on the topic of mental health, I think that, like, a big part of mental health that's not shown in media is, like, the side where, like, sometimes you do act, like, mean, or you do act, like, negative because you're just going through a hard time. And I think that for a really big chunk of my life, like, a lot of my relationships were affected from my actions because of just my mental health, because I was letting my, like, anxiety control me, and I didn't realize, like, at the time that it was, like, you're projecting. And I still
That's so true.
and I still do it. Like, I still struggle sometimes to, like, understand that, like, sometimes I'm projecting my, like, insecurities, my anxieties, my depression or whatever onto other people, and, like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, I try my best now to, like, communicate with those around me, like, hey, I'm not doing the best right now, like, this is where I'm at. And so I think I've definitely had to, like, one, forgive myself for past mistakes in those relationships and just that in general, but then also forgive, like, because I've also experienced that where I've had to walk away for relationships and, like, forgive other people because they were acting out because of their mental health, and I've had to forgive them, and that's been a really big theme in my life. So I've had it with both sides.
No, I relate to that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
when I get really, like, upset or, like, I'm going through something really challenging, I know that I can, you know, lash out at people. And I feel like I'm getting better at being aware of when that situation's, like, happening. Like, this past weekend, I, like, came up on, like, an anniversary of, like, something that really devastated me. So, like, this weekend, I, like, made it clear to, like, tell everybody, hey, like, I'm gonna be sad. I'm sad this weekend. I didn't try to hang out with many people because I was like, I know that I'm gonna be,
Like,
in a bad spot, and I just don't want that to come out on anybody else.
I mean,
But-
it's all about, like,
Yeah.
communication with that, too.
Yeah.
For me, I'm very big on communication. I like to be pretty forward about things now.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I just don't like the BS anymore. I like
Yeah.
the honesty.
I appreciate that.
That's also
You probably
something that's,
realize
like,
that, but
it's so learned through, like, experiences.
Yeah.
yes.
Because that's not something that everybody, like, in high school was like, communication. Like, I feel like, especially, like, when you were younger,
Yeah.
I feel like even usually at our age, people haven't really gotten that down. But
yes.
I feel like maybe high school was, like, such a roller coaster for so many people that it was, like,
I feel like
everybody
Yeah.
had to remember communication is key. And maybe
Yeah.
also partially, you know, the pandemic.
yeah, that was a big.
True.
I feel like that really made me better at communicating with people.
This podcast is presented by El Vaquero.
Authentic Mexican dining just steps off of UC's campus on Short Vine.
Visit El Vaquero today at 2845 Short Vine Street and follow them online at El Vaquero Clifton. El Vaquero, the best in Cincinnati.
So I had another point that I wanted to bring up because I think there are so many like sides to forgiveness.
For sure.
But I wanted to ask if you've ever not been able to forgive someone, either of you.
Oh, that's juicy.
Yeah.
That's
That is good.
juicy.
And I love that you said that there's so many sides to forgiveness because it is so, like,
it's
based on situations and, like,
it's
context. And
situational.
yes.
Is that the word?
Yes.
Contextual.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I got you. You're right. It is.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say there's one situation that I can think of. Oh, two situations I can think of where there's, like, somebody who I haven't, like, been able to fully forgive, I feel like. But neither of those people are, like, actively in my life.
Okay.
So they haven't really given me the chance to.
Would you, if you were given the chance?
One
Or
of
do you
them
think that's not?
probably, one of them probably not. But it depends, you know? I think it depends on somebody's, like, intentions for sure. Because I know in one situation, no, both situations actually, they intended on, like, harm. Like, to hurt feelings, to, I don't know, create situations where there didn't need to be. So, like, one of them is more so, like, it kind of just is, like, created out of nowhere and it's, like, made up fully. And it's drama for drama's sake. And that person is, like, so far removed from my life. So, like, I wouldn't even encounter them or have to forgive them. And I also don't think I want to because it's just, like, crazy to, like, drag out a situation just to talk about it.
Just because.
When it's, like, not even based in fact. So that's a situation I wouldn't forgive somebody.
I can beat them up for you.
Let's all go beat them up.
Yeah. You can do
Oh, yeah.
they're
And I know
place.
Sophie knows who I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
trying to choose my words wisely.
But I mean, that's totally valid. I think we should normalize not being able to forgive someone.
Yes.
Because I think there
Yes.
are certain situations where
you can't.
things might be unforgivable.
But that's the thing. I don't think that it's unforgivable.
But you just can't
I
forgive.
can't forgive them under the current circumstances.
Maybe I should change my wording.
I think that it is possibly forgivable if this person were
Okay.
to seek forgiveness or change their ways. Because if you keep doing the same thing to different people and it becomes a pattern, that's when it's like unforgivable.
Yeah.
But you can always change. And I do believe that people can change.
Okay.
So I do not believe that it's unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the other situation. That one hits way closer to home. And I don't think it's unforgivable because it's the person's family. But I find it very difficult to see that that would be, forgiven because
That's
of how
interesting,
the person behaves.
though, because you said they're family.
Yeah.
So do you think it's easier for you to forgive if they're family
Yeah, not, okay.
because of that relationship?
Definitely, like, my siblings, like, I forgive them in an instant. I really,
Yeah.
they don't even need to apologize.
Real.
I can, like, pretend and, like, tease them
Mm-hmm.
and pretend that I'm mad at them, but I could actually probably never be. Same with, like, my parents, like, but I feel like we never really disagree now.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have, but, like, not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. They're people,
Yeah.
this is their first time living too, so I really, don't hold anything against them. But, like, I like a more distant family member who, like, said some things that I just really cannot forgive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they were to come back seeking forgiveness, which I think I would be willing to give only in that situation.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
as of right now,
No.
can't even
Okay.
fathom.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't even fathom. Did you hear that?
But what about you guys?
I think that the deeper the wound is, the deeper the mistake, the harder it is to forgive.
For sure.
And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I've had family issues where I've come to the realization that I can't forgive people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that was really hard because I think, like, everything in your, like, mind, your body, your soul can want to forgive someone, but, like, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just truly, like, you can sit down with yourself at the end of the day and be like, I want to forgive you so much for this, but, like, I can't. Like, I just can't. And you have to, like, put it to rest. And, like, maybe there is a chance that one day you'll be able to forgive them, but right now, no. Like, you can't. And I think that's been a big thing for me. There's, like, this quote. I know I'm going to get real deep. But there's this quote. It's like, you're not going to eat at my table, but it doesn't mean I don't want you to eat. Like,
Oh, wait.
I know one like that. It's
That's good.
It's like about flowers, and it's like, just because I don't want you in my garden doesn't mean I'm not excited to watch you grow. And that
Yeah.
you shouldn't ever feel pressure to, like, forgive somebody.
mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
it's like, do it at your own pace. And, like, if you're pressured into forgiveness, it's not
not-
actual
yeah,
forgiveness.
it's
And
not
don't do that to
Yeah.
genuine.
yourself. And don't do that to the other person.
That's true.
Mm.
Literally, all I can do is just, like, yes.
Well, I want to know about you because you said that you have a very hard time forgiving people.
Yes.
So I want to know.
Which is totally valid.
yes,
This
I
actually,
think it's a good trait to
Yeah.
have because it means you have
Well,
boundaries.
You don't let people walk all over you.
I try not to. This is actually kind of hard.
Clocks people when they need
I
to be
Clock
clocked.
it. Yeah, I just learned
Mhm.
this.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyways, on a more serious note, like, this might be one of my biggest struggles in life is just how much of a wall I put up because of this topic of, like, not wanting to get hurt because I feel like I have been hurt in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And no, don't.
No, I wanna-
But, like, I do think there have been many situations in my life that I still haven't let go of, and that is something I seriously need to work on because even talking about it now, like, it's just hard, you know? So that's how I know I definitely need to work on this with myself. But there have been situations all across the board. Not gonna lie, but there is, like, one in particular that I think might be the root of why I don't forgive people as much or why I have such a wall up myself, because in my mind it feels so valid to hold that grudge, and I have a hard time thinking to myself that I don't need to forgive this person because there's such a pressure, I feel like, to always forgive and like have an open mind. I feel like there is a big pressure for that, but I seriously don't think that I'll ever be able to truly forgive this, just because like I can't ever forget it. Like it just like haunts me, honestly. So it's a big weight on my shoulder. So that one's really hard, and that definitely makes it harder to forgive other people. And I try to keep an open mind, like you said, because I do see myself as open-minded, and I try to empathize so much, and I feel like I do. And I think maybe I do empathize so much and am so sensitive myself because I don't want other people to be hurt like I feel like I have sometimes. But then also I contradict myself because I still can't forgive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
But it is like all situational. So like you don't compare your situation to my situation.
But I feel like a lot of it is like childhood trauma. I feel like if you are really wounded as a child by like your parents or something, then you have to go about like forgiving them, and then I think that it can lead on to other relationships in your life where you were like, oh well, I was hurt by my parents this long time ago, so now I'm gonna be more walled up towards other people because, you know, I got wounded as a kid, or
Gotcha. So like a subconscious thing.
yeah, like
Interesting.
I don't know, but yeah.
I feel like childhood trauma can always be a factor to like everything. And I'm lucky to have a pretty smooth, steady childhood with, you know, pretty awesome parents and awesome siblings. I say pretty awesome, but
They're awesome.
awesome, period.
They're just legit awesome.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3.
Okay. You have a older
I literally love your
sister,
family so much.
younger brother. I'm missing one. Younger sister?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You were missing one. You have an older sister.
I do.
Okay, so I have 3 siblings, and yeah, growing up we fought a lot, but you know, not like out of the ordinary for siblings, like pretty average, I'd say. I feel like we always find something to laugh about, and I think, like you were saying, we got closer as we got older, and my dad always used to say when we'd fight, or like say that we hated each other, which was a lie, he would always say that like, you'll have each other forever, and like, these are people who you're gonna be with for life. So like, it would really, you know, upset him that we say that, because he was like, I know you don't mean it, and you know you don't mean it, and this is gonna be like one of the most important people in your life forever. So why are you wasting your time fighting with them?
Wait, I actually, okay.
He's such
your
a girl dad.
said that?
Yeah.
Okay, your
He's
dad
the
needs to write a
best.
book and like
He needs
that.
to.
Yeah, that's like
Oh my gosh, don't.
that's so true.
I feel honored to have met him in Ireland.
No, he's actually so sweet, but I just remember at the time I would be like, shut up, because that's like so stupid. But now I'm like, I think even in the moment too, I knew it was right. So I think that's kind of how I learned forgiveness. I think my parents really valued us having strong relationships with each other.
Well, I actually probably have met your parents.
Yeah,
but
probably a long time ago.
Yeah, 5 seconds, but like, okay, I'm kind of Team Haley's parents. Like, they seem.
I feel
For
like
sure.
everybody is. I
They
feel like I
seem
talk
awesome.
them up
Should
all the
be,
time.
because
From what
they're
I've been-
incredible.
From what I've been told.
Yeah,
they
and a lot of
seem-
it wasn't like direct conversation. They're like, forgiveness is key. Like, they didn't say that kind of stuff. It's just like through their actions and the way that they like talk about things. And I know like if we went to bed mad at each other, my parents would always like divide and conquer and like go to our rooms, and they would like remind us, hey, like, I know you're mad about it right now and it feels like a big deal in the moment, but like it really isn't in the grand scheme of things.
Sorry.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Joe just dropped her
I needed eraser.
her little fidget
Yeah.
for this episode.
Yeah.
That's what was happening in the background.
Yeah, not. I promise I was listening. I want your guys' honest opinion.
Oh,
Okay.
we're getting
Ready.
to it. Okay.
So,
Opinion is ready.
Serious?
I think it can be so much harder to ask for forgiveness than to forgive someone, I think even beyond that, how do you walk away from someone who won't forgive you? And how do you cope with that? When I confront someone and they don't forgive me, that like it weighs on my heart. But then also furthering that of like, well, there's this fear of like, well, what if they don't forgive me?
This is gonna sound bad, but I can't think of a situation where somebody hasn't forgiven me. I think I have been blessed enough to be forgiven for my mistakes, which
Period.
that's the other thing, is I feel like it's so forgiven that like I can't even like think of specific examples, which is great to have people in your life that don't hold you to things like, remember that time when you
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. Which
I'm so grateful to not have
I
that.
don't do that. Might I say, I don't do that.
Oh,
I know
no,
I
no.
said I
don't
hold
think so.
grudges, but that's just
Well,
inside my heart.
I don't even
Yeah,
feel like that's
totally
a
different.
grudge. I feel like that's
No, that's-
manipulation.
It
at that
definitely
point.
is, and I had a situation like that, but it wasn't even like in the sense that they were throwing out things that I did. They were throwing out things that like happened to me, and it was very toxic
Yeah, that's kind
out
of
of that. So, yeah, but I don't think I have had somebody not forgive me. If they have, then they're doing a really good job at hiding it, and I don't know that they're still mad. So,
Yeah.
hit me up if
I
it's weighing
mean-
on your heart.
Yeah, let Haley know the truth. I would agree. I know that there's probably definitely things that like people haven't forgiven me for. I think mostly for me, it's more of in my head type of thing, because people could forgive me and I'd still run over it over and over again, just because I would feel so bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I do seek validation in that forgiveness a lot, which is so hypocritical of me because, like I said, I'm not easy to forgive. So, again, we're working on it. But,
Awareness is the first step.
yeah, exactly.
I want to hear
Now, what
yours.
about you, Joe?
I think it's really important that asking for forgiveness is like, it's okay. I think a big part of like being human is realizing that you're gonna make mistakes. You know, you make a mistake, the important thing is that you try and change. By changing, I think, is asking for forgiveness, and then if they don't forgive you, I think acceptance of like, okay, I messed up,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't forgive
You have
me.
to forgive yourself then.
Yeah.
They don't forgive me, that's okay, because that's like like you have to respect that,
Yeah,
forgive
that's
yourself.
huge.
and then move on.
Change and move on.
Yeah.
It's definitely back to the self-forgiveness, which is like the most important in my opinion,
Because that's how you grow, I guess, is forgiving
Yeah.
yourself.
because you
Yeah.
want to make your mind a happy place.
Yeah. So that was our very in-depth episode about forgiveness.
I
Thank
feel like
you. We've kind of really got into it. But thank you so much, Haley, for joining us and giving your perspective. We always love to hear it. New perspectives, that's our thing. So, yeah.
Happy too.
But that's pretty much it. Tune in for the next episode. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.